All right, shalom, family, shalom, peace, and blessings to everybody in attendance. Blessings to the family online. Hopefully, you guys had a very illustrious, beautiful, productive Sabbath day. We give all honor and praise to the Heavenly Father on this good day. Hopefully, you got some rest, got a chance to pray, get in the scriptures a little bit, and get his day to the Lord, right? So, without further ado, I want to go ahead right into the lesson. And we're going to talk about it, right? Today's lesson, the Spirit and power of the Most High. We're going to talk about the school, particularly the public school to prison pipeline that's heavily affected by the black and brown community, right? So I want to refer to our dear beloved brother, Malcolm X. Everybody know who that is, right? Malcolm X, didn't agree with his doctrine per se, but the brother was prolific. He did a lot of wonderful works that everyone can marvel after. And I want to highlight something that he said that I think we should live by. It's a creed that we should live by. Malcolm X mentioned a while back when he was doing this thing that only a fool will let his enemies teach his children. Only a fool, right? I don't think there's no debating in here that the white man's our enemy. After all the atrocities our forefathers were subjugated to. All the rape, rob, murder, killing, castration, breaking up families and homes, the breeding fields, feeding our children in alligator bait. Should I go on? Lynchings. And even if we want to go more into the systemic aspect of slavery, right, where it's not as apparent to the natural eye, we still got what? Miseducation. We got gentrification. We got lack of political association in representation, or we're being suppressed, redlining, we ostracized to access to wealth and capital. The list goes on and on, right? God let us know who our enemies was in the book of Psalms, right? And Malcolm X said only a foolish man or woman would allow their enemies to teach their children. Now, show of hands of all of us that went to public schools. We went into the schools that was set up by our enemies, right? Don't they formulate the curriculum, right? They're responsible of what our kids supposed to learn, the textbooks, whatever it is that they want us to learn, they essentially put into the curriculum. We don't have any power in that, do we? So why are we sending our kids there? Do you think your enemy is going to teach your kids the correct way? Why would he? I mean, just think about that, the psychosis of that. I brought you over here to be slaves, servants, and handmaids, to build up my infrastructures in my kingdom. And then when I so-called freed you guys, I'm now going to teach you how to be better than me? What kind of sense does that make? But, just like Eve, a lot of our brothers and sisters, unfortunately, bit into the fruit of the lies, and we kind of believe this madness, right? So I think this is a creed that we should live by. Only a fool will let his or her enemy teach their kids, right? So this quote kind of motivated today's lesson and inspired me to kind of dig a little deeper into what he said and just kind of talk about some of the things that we subjugated to today among our people, in our communities, right? Give me that, start off Sirach 10. Give me that Sirach 10. You know what I want, right? Yeah, give me that real quick. So we're going to exit out of this, and then we're going to refer to an article that I want to go into why he get that precept. 12. Yep, 12. Give me that 12. Yeah, Sirach 12 real quick. Let's see what God told us.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 12 and verse 10. Never trust thine enemy.
Under none of some circumstances should we trust our enemies. God let us know who our enemies was in the book of Psalms, chapter 82. Verse 1 all the way down to 6. He listed all of them, right? They all conspired a plan to subjugate the black and brown man, right? So what did God say again?
Never trust thine enemy.
Read on.
For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
His divisive tactics. He said, sure, like iron would eventually rust, so would the wickedness of our enemies eventually showcase. Read on.
Though he humbleth himself.
So what if he says, hey, let's come together, under one nation, under God, indivisible, all that madness, right? Read on.
And go crouching, yet take good heed and beware
God
of
said,
him.
do you need more of a sample size than what happened in the transatlantic slave trade?
Yeah.
Do you need any more examples besides? Just think about it. This devil has a propensity to obliterate every place that it goes to. Not just the people, also the land as well. The earth. Can't wait till Yahweh Shai come back and restore everything, right? So I don't think we need too much more evidence to see clearly that Esau is our enemy, right? Hopefully not.
Right.
At this point, I mean, we've done enough lessons. There's enough Hebrews is bringing out information showing you that we can't trust this bastard, right? Read on.
And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass.
Uh-huh.
And thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether.
So basically, right, God is using a scenario, a situation where you wipe down, you know, the window with Windex. You hit it with the Windex, you clean it up, you leave, and you come back and the stain's still there. That's Esau. That's Esau. In every capacity. In every capacity, not just the physical oppression that he placed upon our people, also the systemic aspect. Anytime he's giving you money, trust and believe his blood money that's on the back end of that. I'll give you an example of recent times. He allowed us to liquidate our 401ks in 2020 because of the pandemic.
Right.
Turned around and hit us with a tax bill. Right. So he relinquished so-called the policies, the strenuous policies before that you can touch your 401k, because there's certain policies to say you got to be at a retirement age before you can liquidate it. Joe Biden was like, no, go ahead and let them liquidate it. Let them clean it out. Nobody's working right now. Let them clean it out, right? We'll get them on the back end. So everybody's living it up in 2020, right? We had the PP loans. We had the EIDL. We had 401ks,
EDD loan,
EDD, and then what happened? 2 years later, we got hit with the tax bill. Now they asking for that money now for them loans, and they starting to place criminal charges on our brothers and sisters. We already knew that was blood money from. I mean, do we need any more of a sample size to know what we dealing with? I mean, he has a propensity to lie, steal, manipulate. This is just who he is. This is his nature, right? But that's not the point, right? Esau's not the point. I'm just kind of bring out some of the things that he did because it's important to highlight, how do we expect this beast, this enemy of ours, to teach our children? When we send our kids to these institutions, you're pretty much gambling. You're taking a shot in the dark, almost, in a sense. And I'm gonna bring it out. I'm gonna show you why. Right? I'm gonna show you why. But keep reading that though, because I gotta stand on the word first, right? Read that.
Verse 12. Set him not by thee.
What did God say?
Set him not by thee.
So I was all for segregation. This was when we was lecturers and thriving, and we had a lot of success when we was able to separate from him, right? God said, set him not by you, right? Don't allow this person to be around you. Read on.
Lest when he hath overthrown thee,
which he's done on numerous occasions, read on,
he stand up in thy place.
And now I'm going to take your ethnicity and your heritage, and I'm going to become you now. It wasn't enough for me to take your land, but now I'm a Jew. And you the Gentile. Oh, yeah, and your Lord, the Messiah, he looks like me now. We're going to give him blue eyes with long hair. Oh, yeah, God and the angels look like me too. You know, matter of fact, your book is mine now. Read that again. This is what we dealing with. Read it again.
Salakia.
When
he stand up in thy place, neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith.
God said, remember what I'm trying to tell you about this beast. Right? Remember what I'm telling you. Let's cap it off at verse 13.
Verse 13. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts?
God is saying, how can I expect to feel sorry for y'all when you had more than enough examples in a sample size to see who you're dealing with? It's not like the times where it was Jacob and Esau and they just started out. We got generational history that shows and suggests that, hey, look, maybe we want to stay away from this Neanderthal. Like, this dude has not been good for our people. Right. Ever since he got power in Greece. And you see how hard he went hard on us in the Maccabees. You see that? Went extremely hard on us. So much to the point you couldn't even call yourself a Jew. It was illegal. It was illegal for you to practice the commandments of God. Right? Only for us now to go through the transatlantic slave trade, to go through the colonial period, to go through all the manners of this systemic oppression, and for us to want to be amalgamated into his communities and his schools and institutions and things like that. And I got to tell y'all, we got to come out of that thinking. Right? I appreciate it, and shout out to my brother Ratazan, because I didn't have his vision initially when we started this camp. He had a bigger vision than I thought. I was just thinking like, we're going to teach our kids and our family, whatever. He had more of a bigger vision. He was like, nah, we're going to create a safe haven for all black and brown kids to come learn the laws of God. Also, learn basic essentials on how to survive in this community until Yahweh Shai get us back. We're going to get a building. We eventually want to upgrade into a campus where we can have a safe haven for us to come. And I was like, aha. That's when that aha moment hit me, because I'm like, damn, we can continue functioning in a society like we've been doing, taking our kids to these white institutions, taking our kids to these places where it's designed for us to go to prison, essentially, or we can reverse engineer all the different atrocities and the things that happen in our communities and build. It's going to be hard, but build on our own. And brick. We ain't got, you want to add something?
No, brick by brick.
Brick by brick, right, as the scriptures say. And we ain't got to reinvent the wheel, because we already got the manual and instructions. We just got to stick to it and believe in it, right? So it's very, very important what we're doing here. Y'all might not see the vision per se. Y'all might not see the effects of everything we're doing right now, but it's big. We started off in this man's household. His 3-bedroom apartment. Look what the Most High has blessed us with, and look what the increase looked like. We're still building, right? So now, look, our kids can grow up amongst each other under the laws of the Heavenly Father. We can brainwash them with the authenticity of the Bible and not religion. We can also protect them from what? The woes of the devil out there and all that madness out there. The ABCs, binary talk. We can protect them from all that, right? And then we can teach them what we feel like they need to know to thrive in this community, or thrive in this society. Make sense? Right? Is that sit on that Sirach?
Yeah, that was it on 13.
All right, let's drop that. Right. So let's go ahead and go to the article. For those that got their phone, y'all can see, is my screen shared? I just want to make sure my screen shared. Is my screen shared? Yeah, all right. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this article real quick. It says study confirms school to prison pipeline. Right? So we got scholars, and this is not that long ago. Look, this is 2021, a couple years ago. So what scholars are saying is there is a such thing as public school systems to prison pipeline. Translation, the schools that y'all sending y'all kids to, they're preparing them for prison. Let me say that again. The schools that we sending our kids to, the white man is preparing them for prison. And we got researchers that's not biased, that's white, that's saying this stuff. Watch this. It says new research found that early strict discipline causes an increase in adult crimes. I want to highlight on the word strict, because I do believe in discipline. The scripture says to discipline our kids. But it's when it becomes excessive. That's the problem. On minor things. I give you a minor thing that happens all the time in black and brown schools. Tardiness. Even though I'm not a fan of that. You should show up on time. But tardiness. What happens when you tardy about 4 or 5 times and you go to like a school like Dorsey High School or you go to like Manual Arts? You're going to get suspended. And then what leads to suspension? Expulsion. And then what that leads to? Criminal activity. You see the plan of Esau? But what does he do to little Jimmy over there in Bobby that goes to Palos Verdes High School or go to Palisades High School? Would they get a slap on the wrist? What do they get? Is there any type of consequences for that? No, there's not. We're gonna unlock that and we're gonna show y'all. So strict, strenuous discipline that's placed upon black and brown people is the reason why we have this such thing as a school to prison pipeline. And I want to let y'all know that this is socially motivated, politically influenced, and it's very intentional. This is not done by coincidence. This is something that Esau and his think tanks are coming together and their little panels of smart people that they have. And they're like, this is what we should do to these communities to keep them suppressed and held down. Right? Give me that when they overdid the affliction. That's Zechariah 1:15. See, Esau has a propensity of overdoing it. I believe in discipline, which I'm going to show you in the law. The law tells us to discipline our kids. It tells us to discipline. But then there's a point that Esau does where it's too much. And this is why the Most High is going to judge him, because the Lord said, you overdid it. Nobody told you to feed kids to alligators. Nobody told you to cut out pregnant women and play kickball with the fetus. Nobody told you to hang black and brown people and burn them until they just die out. And everybody watch it and surround it and watch around until they just die out and they just suffer. Nobody told you you overdid the affliction. But this is Esau's nature. This is what he does. But yet and still, we send our kids there. Like our kids is in safety with this Neanderthal. Read that.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 1 and verse 15. And I am very sore displeased with the heathen.
With the heathens, the top heathen is Esau. Read on.
That are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction.
They helped forward the affliction. They did too much. They overdid it. Read that same scripture out. Give me the NIV. Get it out your phone. The NIV. I think the NIV makes it even more plain upon tables. Right? But I'm going to go back to this article. It says new research found that early strict discipline. I'm talking about early as like 4th grade, 3rd grade. Why the hell do you need an armed guard at an elementary school? You might need it at an Esau school because they know how to play with guns. Right? It behooves me in just to think about some of the things we went through growing up in the projects. I went to the school in my projects, and I'm like, we really had like a damn officer on campus walking around the school, armed and ready for little 5-year-olds and 10-year-olds. Like, what the hell is that about? Isn't this a place I'm supposed to be sending my kid to learn, to advance, to have an opportunity to compete in society? Yet and still, we got this cop walking around here aggressively, looking up, let me check your backpack. What you selling, nigga? And we only what? 3rd grade? What's that, like 8? We only like 8 years old. What's that about? Read that. Read that when you got it.
This is Zechariah 1:15 in the NIV. And I am very angry with the nations that feel secure.
God said, I'm angry with the other nations that think they're secure. Read on.
I was only a little angry, but they went too far.
They went too what?
They went too far.
They did too much, man. God allowed the other nations to rule over us, but Esau and his constituents went too far. They did too much. Nobody told you to create breeding farms. Nobody told you to rape and fondle little boys and girls and make money off of it. Turn it into an enterprise. What do they call it now? Like, what's the code word? Pizzagate?
Yeah, con.
Somebody told you you did too much. I told you to whoop on my kids and show them it's better to serve me than them. But sadly enough, after all of this, Kalab, our people still love this damn devil.
Still love him.
They still love him. Clean his drawers and all that.
You gotta forgive him.
Gotta forgive him. You gotta love him. I know it has a lot to do with the white Jesus. They can't shake that image out of their head, unfortunately. Because when they see the white people, what they think? God. Unfortunately. Right? But I just want to show y'all real quick, we'll move on, that we believe in discipline. We don't believe in being soft on our kids. Give me that Deuteronomy 25. Let me see. It's when you overdo it. See, our Lord gives us parameters. All right, give me Deuteronomy 25. Read that real quick. Verse 3.
Verse 3. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 25, and verse 3. 40 stripes he may give him and not exceed. Least if he should exceed and beat him above these with many stripes, then our brothers should seem vile unto thee.
You see what I'm saying? We can't overdo it. We got up to 40 stripes we can do. You see that? So the scriptures give us parameters and certain lines we can't go across. You see that? We can discipline, but it's like, all right, look, you can't overdo it. That's in the laws of God. Does Esau follow this? I wish we had the picture of the back of that one slave. Yeah. You see the warps on his back and how they needed like medical attention, and it's like he just sitting there like, man, I go through this all the time. Right? We're not supposed to overdo the affliction. So Esau does that, right? But let's continue in this article. Watch this. It says right here, children who attend schools with high suspension rates are significantly more likely to be arrested in jail as adults, especially Black and Hispanic boys, according to new research that shines a spotlight on school to prison pipeline. All right. Is it a coincidence or just prophecy? Why is it that in America, which is Babylon the Great, Black and brown boys are just so often more subjugated to these policies than any other nation? Are we the only people that live here? We got white people. We got East Indian people. We got Asian people. But nevertheless, every article you read, it always says Black and brown. Coincidence? I like to say prophecy. Give me Isaiah 42 and 22. I like to just say it's the voice of the Lord being declared over here. And it's revealing the things that the prophet said. All right? Give me that real quick. Isaiah, whenever you got it.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 42 and verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison.
Where are people?
They are hid in prison houses.
We know this talking about the future because at this time, Southern Kingdom wasn't in captivity. So this talking about another time period. Right? It's talking about now. Where are boys? Prison. Where does this start off at? Public school. Sending your kids to the oppressor to teach them what? His story. His slanted view of what happened. You know, we already know he has a propensity to lie and manipulate and tell you a different account that didn't happen quite like it said it happened, right? But watch this, though. It says data have long shown that Black and Hispanic students experience suspension and expulsions at much higher rates than white students. Now, I'm going to keep it a buck, or a bean, as my brother Namanawaf like to say. Every nation got bad kids. Not just us. We got some bad kids. I ain't gonna lie. I grew up with a lot of them. But Esau kids, when they get violent and bad, we see what happens to them schools. Right? We see what happens to them schools. They get shot up. Most of the school shootings are what? White kids, right? Mostly white little boys who were mad at something. They might was ostracized or whatever. They was a little awkward, whatever. They shoot up school. So we already know how they are. But it says Black and brown kids are experiencing suspensions and expulsion at a much higher rate than their white counterparts. Anybody want to guess why? Why do we have such this disproportionality between Israelite kids, let's just, we know we Israelites, versus Edomite kids? Anybody want to take a guess at that? Who got the mic? Tahar want to take a guess. Tahar want to take a guess. Go ahead, let's see. Tahar's like, I know this type of stuff.
Because Esau hate Jacob.
Esau hate Jacob, okay.
Bottom line.
Bottom line, he hates us. And he might not even understand why he hates us, right?
Right.
Right. He might not even be familiar with the spirit aspects of us taking a break, right? But in his spirit, he hates us for that. And he's gonna keep hunting us down for that. You know what I mean? I like that. Something else? You got one? Give it to Kia.
I think it's because they think that we're the aggressive race.
They think we're aggressive.
Yeah.
Okay. So they believe we're more aggressive and more antagonistic than they are. I like that. I don't know how though. When we don't shoot and kill as much as they do. Everywhere that the white man's been, he just have a propensity to kill more than anybody that's there. That's a fact. I'm not saying something that's crazy. That's a fact. Nobody's have more bodies than the white man. But go ahead, King. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say something about Esau's hate. It's almost retarded. No, it's clearly retarded when you're trying to take down people that can actually help you. And I remember Khalid Muhammad said something about they destroy the air that they even have to breathe and the water that they even have to drink.
Yeah.
So you can only imagine how crazy their hatred and evil is towards, our God's people. So,
yeah, I like what the brother said. He said they'll further the affliction so much to the point they'll kill everybody if they have to. The earth. I mean, we see what happened with Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Y'all the only devils that dropped a nuclear bomb knowing the ramifications of what could happen. Not only to themselves, but everybody that's around there. They dropped the damn bomb, and it's they still dealing with that in Japan. They still dealing with the effects of that. You want to add something, Deshaun?
Yeah, because it's like the kid who does something wrong or is always in something bad. He always tries to point the blame at somebody else to mask his own wickedness.
No accountability, huh?
Yeah, it's like keeping not only does it change the narrative of who actually is the wicked, but by continuously always incriminating or over punishing the so-called black or Hispanic man, it keeps that narrative alive. I'm gonna give you an example. It was a Edomite and brother that was in a heated exchange, and it was a sister trying to break them apart because the police were close, right? And when the police walked up, they immediately pepper sprayed Jake and didn't do nothing to Esau. It was just like, okay, break it up, Esau. But Jake, as soon as they came up, sprayed him immediately. He's like, you automatically make Jake the problem. You're the aggressor. We have to pepper spray you. And it even looks from the outside looking in. If you didn't know what was going on, just saw the ladder in. Oh, well, he must have been the problem.
He had to be the aggressor.
He was the problem.
To Kia's point, he had to be the aggressor. Let's take him down first. Oh, wait a minute, he got a gun. He ain't got nothing on him, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, that happens a lot, right? And that largely has to do with the scripture. Let's get that precept real quick. Give me that Amos. Is that 1 and 9 I want? Or is the other one?
Yeah, I believe 1 and 9.
Yeah, let's get that.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 1 and verse 11, I believe.
Verse 11. All right, get to it.
The book of Amos, chapter 1 and verse 11. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually.
How long?
Perpetually.
How long?
Perpetually.
I don't think y'all believe them words, man. Do y'all not understand that Esau is gonna hate you forever? I know y'all doing here. I'm just talking like matter of factly. I'm just speaking matter of factly. Our people don't understand the scriptures. He has a perpetual hatred. He wants his birthright back. Even if he doesn't really understand it through the spirit, he's already going to hate you because he wants his birthright back. So he has a predisposition when he's born to not like y'all.
Hey, Salaki, Aram, like now all the Marvel movies and kid movies, tell me why it's something about a time machine or going back and try to like fix things that happened before. Like, and I tell Promise all the time, I'm like, baby, they showing us that they want to go back and change the birthright.
They want that birthright back. They know what the blessings and the promise. This is the sad nature of Esau. Like, so you get the rule for like thousands of years, right? You get the rule, have it your way. But when it's time for us to get our prize, no, I want your prize too, nigga.
Yeah.
I'm the Jew too. You can't leave me out the covenant. Like, so we got to go through all this scrutiny, all of this damn laborious work. But when it's time for Yahushua to come get us, no, they want to be included as well. This crazy. This is what we dealing with. Oh, y'all being mean. Y'all trying to ostracize us. When the scriptures say what they say. Until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. That's Christ's word, red letter. We didn't write this. But then they say we racist. We're radical. We're black enthusiasts and all this. When we always talk about the Latino, they just want to highlight the black because they want to demean it and undermine it. You know, all this stuff, right? We're used to it. Whatever. Ultimately, I'm just trying to highlight some of these points. Like going back to the article. Hey, listen. Don't expect your kids to go to their institutions and get educated. The education is largely on the parents. That's the first social institution of teaching the kids. And then next level will be the community, right? The community. You ever heard the saying that take a village to raise a kid? Right. Right. I don't know if that's in the scriptures. I don't believe that's in the scriptures, but the concept is. The concept is definitely scriptural, right? Let me finish this article. It says data have shown long that Black and Hispanic students experience suspension and expulsion at a much higher rate than whites. And that as adults, they are disproportionately represented in the county's prison system. And around, let's get to the point. Let's skip right here. It says researchers, see, these are real reputable institutions I'm about to talk about. It says researchers from Boston University, the University of Colorado Boulder, and Harvard University sought to find whether a causal link exists between students who experience strict school discipline and being arrested or incarcerated as an adult, and whether attending a stricter school influenced criminal activity in adulthood. Our findings show that early censures of school misbehavior causes increases in adult crime, that there is, in fact, a school to prison pipeline. The researchers wrote in the article published Tuesday in Education Next. So basically, in layman's term, there is a such thing as a school to prison pipeline. Misbehavior among Black and brown boys is a lot more scrutinized than any other nation. And as a result of these punishments on these Black and brown boys, the schools rather, are preparing them for hopefully their eternal state in Esau's mind, which is prison. Now, sadly enough, this is a real thing because in my community, where I grew up at, I know this is just a small sample size, but I'm sure it happens everywhere we go. But in my community, in the projects, it's probably like, that I grew up in, it's probably like 700 units. Let's just say it's 3 people per household, right? What's 7 times 3? 2,100. So let's say it's 2,100 people in my generation, right? I ain't gonna hold you. Every boy that I grew up with been to prison at one point in time. And they went to the same schools that I went to. I was fortunate one of the ones that didn't make it, didn't go to prison. You know, I've been back in police cars, but never went to prison. All praises, right? But 85% of the boys that I grew up with been in prison at some point of their time. And a lot of them still in prison right now and not never coming home. They got life sentences, unfortunately. Right? So is there some type of correlation between public schools and our kids going to prison? We know it's much more than that. But I want to highlight on the school system because it's like what the researchers are saying, there is a thing. This is not a conspiracy theory or nothing like that. There's a thing between black and brown boys going into these public school systems, getting harsher and stiffer punishments, and as a result of that, it's socially motivated and intentional by Esau to send them to prison. Yeah, you can get if you want one. Yeah, Dwada, you can give me one. Yeah, right. It says right here, any effort to maintain safe and orderly schools climates must take in account the clear and negative consequences of exclusionary discipline practices for young students, and especially young students of color. You think they give a damn about that? Basically, what the researchers are saying that before you start expelling people, before you start all these crazy policies on black and brown boys, you should think about the consequences and the ramifications of what you're doing because it's not working. It's not working. Isn't it supposed to be the correction facility?
Yeah, come.
Then why is it more of our little boys going into this correction facility and going back and never ever can get right?
They said to stay out of prison, you need to go to college and focus on your schoolwork and education, and that'll keep you out. But obviously, the statistics are saying if I stay in it, I'm gonna go deeper into
the wrong schools, right? I'm all for education, but it's like, who's teaching our kids? Right? Who's teaching our can Sally, Becky, and Karen teach better than Raya and Kia, my wife, Tazapayan? Can they teach better than them? Little black boys? Hell no. Right? You think they're gonna care like these women will? No. So it's letting you know, because Sally's gonna call the police immediately. Let little Jimmy get out of line. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna call the police immediately. And I want a stiff punishment on this boy. When Raya would have been like, boy, sit your ass down. Sit down, boy. Real quick. And he would have got an order. Sit down, boy. Do you want me to call your daddy? Sit down. Right? These consequences that's happening to our kids are affecting them in their adulthood, according to research and scholars. That's what they're saying. And then when you have these like real strict, strenuous, like discipline practices, like expulsion, not only expel them for the school, but for the district, the whole district. And now they got to go to like Paul Revere. They got to go to Paul Revere. Like, where the hell is that at? I heard about the school, but I never knew. Where is it? Is it like, where? It's like Palace. It's like over there, right? Like, why is a kid from Watts going over there? Can you explain that to me? It don't make any sense. Like, how am I supposed to get there, first of all? How many buses do I got to take to get to the Paul Revere? Because I got expelled for just ditching or tardy or whatever. I got expelled from LSUSD, so now I got to go to Paul Revere, and I don't know how to get there. My mom got to go to work. My dad in jail. How the hell am I going to, what's going to be the natural progression? I'm going to fall out of school. Esau wants that because I got another one. He's going to go join a gang. He don't got nothing to do. He's going to join a gang, and then we're going to put him into this prison system that we want to put him in anyways. And make a killing off of him. So, yeah, go ahead and make one false move, nigga. Go ahead and make one false move, wetback. We got something for you niggas. Right? It's called the industrial prison complex. Billion-dollar industry, and we can't wait. Because now, as my brother Deshaun eloquently stated, we can hide behind our mischief. Hey, we got to get rid of these niggers. They're a detriment to society. They're menace. They're uncontrollable. Not taking into account of all these social influences, right? So I'm going to get to another article. I'm probably going to end this one. There's a lot of other stuff on this one, but for the sake of time, let me go to the other article, right, that I wanted to get to. So this is another article right here. It says, this is in 2021 as well, February. So it's not that long ago. So for those that saying like this is not a thing now, it's only a couple years ago where they had this article. It says, who's most affected by the school to prison pipeline? Who's the most affected by the school to prison pipeline right now? Let's see what this little brochure, whatever pamphlet, what you want to call it. It says in the red, I'm going to read the red first. It says the school to prison pipeline refers to the practices and policies that disproportionately places students of color into the criminal justice system. Students, it says students of color. Let's highlight that, right? We're highlighting them, right? It says, and I'm going to read this little green part. It says the biased application of harsh disciplinary measures and overuse of referral to law enforcement contribute to the problem, setting up vulnerable students for failure and ignoring the underlying causes. So let me rape, rob, murder, pillage, kill, take your ethnicity or identity. Let me extract all the precious metals from your land, 10 tribes. Let me leave you destitute and deprive you from basic resources, food, water, and clothing, Jim Crow. And then I'm going to lock you up for it, nigga. Tell me that's not wicked. There's something, shout out to my brother Deshaun, he taught me about this. There's something called the Vacancy Act. Y'all should look that up. Matter of fact, let's get it. The Vacancy Act, let's get it. We was so-called free, right? So-called. We were so-called free by President Abraham Lincoln with the Emancipation Proclamation, right? Which was not anything to do with us being free. It was a war policy. For those that got ears of understanding, he wanted to cut off the legs of the southern states because they were moving aggressively this cotton and they were becoming powerful. And he was like, no, we want to introduce this industrial revolution and we want to be the imperial powers here in America. So we got to stop their money. So how are we going to stop their money? Free the slaves. Because now they can't pick cotton no more, and now nobody's going to pick the cotton, and now we're going to transfer into our industrial revolution and put people in factories so we can produce a lot faster. But them niggas out there picking that cotton kind of quick. That cotton, that coffee, all that stuff, the sugar, and they making a killing over there. We got to cut off their legs so we can be the imperial powers and we can inflict our laws and our plans on people. He wrote to one of his constituents, if I can stop this without freeing the slaves, I would. But I'm not going to be able to save the Union if I don't. So there go your Emancipation Proclamation. It had nothing, you know how they say, you should be happy that Abraham Lincoln freed y'all. Madness. No, let's go into it. Let's go back into the history. Let's see if he really wanted to free us. Because when I read articles and things like that, I see he didn't really want to do it. He felt like it was no other choice. Because if he didn't, the slave states would have became the imperial powers over here in America. All right. But let's get that how do you spell it? VA Vacancy Act of what was it? 1866, right? So they freed us in 1865, right? We're free. Now watch this. This is Esau. This is what we dealing with, man.
Devil, what?
It says the Vacancy Act of 1866 was passed by General Assembly of January 15, 1865 or 66. The act allowed local officers to arrest and hire out people who had no obvious employment. So wait a minute. You free us. White people are mad because they just lost all this free labor, so they don't want to hire us. So now they're mad because we don't have jobs. You came over here to be slaves. Now we don't have jobs. Oh, let's lock these niggas up. They're just wandering up and down the street. How's that parallel to the school system? Us wandering in the halls. What happens? Us wandering in the halls and ditching. What happens? You go to jail. You don't get a write-up. You might get detention the first time. Second one, hey, the cop get you? I know schools like Dorsey High School, nigga, you going to jail. Manual Arts, Locke High School, Crenshaw High School, you're going to jail. Something that should be easy as, I mean, get your butt back in class. What are you doing? No, in those type of schools, 1 or 2 warnings, you're going to jail. And then you're going to get expelled. And then what happens when you get expelled? No other school wants to accept you, and then what happens? You turn to the gang. Mommy and daddy not home. Mommy got to go get the money to try to take care of this little rent. Daddy in jail. I never met him. Who I'm turning to?
Street.
The homies. I turn to the homies now. These are only. Well, this is my only family now, quote unquote. And what the hell are they gonna teach our kids? How to rob, steal, kill, sell dope, or prostitute the daughters of Israel, get tattooed, everything that God tells us not to do. And then what we in? A cycle of confusion, a bundle of wickedness. This is why the laws of God is so powerful, man. This is the only way out. When it says this is the only way, that's why we believers are the way. It's no other way. We have tried everything else. We have tried to come together under one umbrella and be on some black and brown stuff. And to what? To what resolution? What end goal? You got the black and browns, they coming together with so we can sell dope to each other now. I can sell weed to this nigga. I can sell dope to him. I can sell lean to him. Or we can trade our women. Did it pause? What happened? Oh, you want to make a comment? Yeah, go ahead. Make a comment. He's, hey, man, I'm feeling, hey, I want in. Huh? Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, what you're saying is true, man. It's all biblical because in Deuteronomy 28:68, they said we're going to come to slavery again in ships. But just like in Pharaoh let the slaves go, but he wanted them back. He chased us to come back to slavery. He wanted us to come back. That's when the Most High stepped in, and destroyed his army and stuff with part of the Red Sea. But here in the United States of America in 1863, they came out and Abraham Lincoln did the Emancipation Proclamation.
Right.
But it just took him 2 years later to come up with the 13th Amendment.
Right there. We don't really want to free these niggas, man.
Right.
We just got to hide behind our mischief. Give me that frame, that law about mischief. Give me that real quick.
So are you going to go into the 13th Amendment?
You wanted to bring that out?
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, bring it out. Bring it out.
The beginning says the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution abolished slavery and involuntary servitude, except as punishment for a crime. And then they throw us in jail for nothing.
Throw us in jail for nothing, right? Look, so basically what the brother's saying is we free the slaves, allegedly, right? We free the slaves, but then we were in there going freeing them, similar to Pharaoh. And what's modern day Egypt? America, right? Same thing. So he's going to have the same policies and the same spirit as Pharaoh, right? So we free you niggas, and then we create laws later to say, no, we got to lock y'all back up. But we're going to hide under our policies and our laws this time. We're not going to have the barbaric, very aggressive manner of slavery that we once had. We're going to do it in institutions. And we're going to put it in our constitution that say, hey, look, under these pretenses, we can treat you as a slave. And then after that, we're going to create acts and policies to substantiate what we just created. But we wanted y'all, we freed y'all. So which one is it? Are we free or we not? Which one is it, right? Give me that Psalms. You got what I want?
Psalms.
94?
Okay, con.
And 20? Give me that Psalms 94 and 20. Let's get a couple precepts. And then give me that Isaiah 10 and 1.
Con.
94 and 20. Read that.
Con. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 94 and verse 20.
Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law?
They create mischievous laws. Bad laws. Laws is not in favor for nobody but themselves. God said that, hey, look, they create mischievous laws, man. The Vagrancy Act is a mischievous law. It's an example. It's a quintessential example of a bad law that was never, ever in place to help anybody. Right? Give me that one in you got the one in Isaiah? Give me that.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 10 and verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed.
Grievousness, man, which they prescribed upon our people. This is a grievous law. So you free me, and then you ostracize me, and when I try to get work, no one wants to hire me. And now I'm just trying to figure it out. Maybe I'm trying to come together with my own community and build something, and I get locked up for it. It says the act allowed local officials to arrest and hire out people who had no obvious employment. The act treated black freedom like a criminal offense. I thought we were free. The act treated us being free like criminals. And it said it aimed to criminalize black people for their idleness. You lazy niggas. You lazy niggas don't ever wait a minute. Us and the 10 tribes build up this damn place, and now we lazy because we want to take a break. They be trying to do that right now. The last job I worked at, we worked 14-hour shifts. 14 hours. It's more than half of the day. 14-hour shifts. And then they got the nerves to call us lazy. What the hell is wrong with y'all? Lazy where? Lazy how? Breaking all kind of records, and you know us, whenever we touch anything, it's going to be gold. It's just what it is. But we get criminalized and victimized as being lazy. It says, for simply not having a job at the time or being in the process of working. So look, I mean, this is how sick this law is. So look, I got freed. I was just in slavery. Involuntary servitude. Involuntary. Like, nigga, you don't have no choice. You're going to work or die, get hung or lynched. Right? I get freed by this emancipation. Right? Now I'm trying to figure out my way. Maybe I'm trying to figure out if I can start a company or work with some, we build up the place so we know how to do the jobs. Some of us might have not had the skills. Some of us might not had some didn't have the finances or the economic infrastructure in place. Try to go to, the white man to get some work, and then we go to jail for it. We get locked up for it. White man don't want to, like, nigga, why would I want to pay you when I was just making a killing off of free labor? Why would I want to hire you now, nigga? It says the act was denounced as slavery in all, but named by General Alfred H. Terry, the commanding officer in Virginia at the time. So they eventually denounced it because they know it's a wicked policy. But hey, look, it's a part of their history. It's part of their history. America got so many black eyes, and I don't know how the hell could you love this place. We ain't even got to go that far back. We can just go back 150 years and see all the things that America has done to our people and continue to do to our people. And Jake and Eve just want to forget about it. But they're aggressive with us though. They get real tough with us, But with Esau, nah, not so much. Right? So it says the biased application of harsh disciplinary measures and overuse of referral to law enforcement contribute to the problem, setting up vulnerable students for failure and ignoring the underlying causes. The underlying causes are particularly the curses. Curses of Deuteronomy, right? Where you have fatherless homes, you have a lack of political association, a lack of access to wealth and money. All these different things is keeping us oppressed. Essentially, we've been ostracized by redlining, which is a real thing. We're not going to loan to them, even though they have the credit score and they have everything on paper. We're not going to loan to them. We're not going to give them any opportunities at real estate, which is one of the fastest ways for you to get rich, buying assets. Now, we're not going to give them any of that stuff. We're going to keep them suppressed and ostracized from this. And as a result, they just continue to further dig themselves in a rabbit hole. And then when they send their kids to school for advancement, we're going to punish them for little things. We're going to overdo the affliction and punishment. All right, let's continue. It says, how can educators end the school to prison pipeline? The first step is considering an alternative approach to school discipline. Right? So they got this zero. Look, they didn't want to put a little white boy. Like, get the F out of here, man. On this brochure. Y'all know damn well that little white boy happy. He don't seem like he concerned at all to me.
And then how they be getting in with all them weapons, huh?
They got the metal detectors and all that.
Put your backpack through on the other side. Go.
Yeah, they need to have metal detectors in all the white schools, for sure. Before Columbine, they didn't even have gates in white schools. You know what I'm saying? Before Columbine, but once Columbine, they was like, "No, we gotta check these white boys too, man." But so they got this Zero Policy Act. We skipped that for the sake of time. Let's go right here. It says they have zero tolerance policies have dramatically increased the number of students who are suspended or expelled, right? Students who miss at least 15 days of school in even a single year are 7 times more likely to drop out of high school. Students who fail to complete their educations are more likely to experience negative outcomes, including poverty, poor health, time in the criminal justice system. It says disparity in school discipline contribute to disparity in learning ability. Black students miss almost 5 times as many days of instructions as a result of out-of-school suspensions compared with white students. So basically what it's saying is, even though white people are more vast than us, we're missing school 5 times more than them. And as a result of us missing school 5 times more than them, it's largely due to us being suspended and expelled, which leads to a lot of other issues. It says school has hired more school resource officers. So that's what this SRO stands for. Law enforcement professionals who are responsible for student safety and crime prevention. The increased placement of SROs have led to increases in the number of students arrested, as well as the number of referrals to law enforcement and juvenile courts. So wait a minute. I'm a young Black Latino mother or father, right? I'm a young Black Latino mother or father. I send my kids to school for the purpose of learning and hopefully giving them an opportunity to advance in society, only to find out from researchers that say, you're sending your kids to prepare them for slavery, modern day slavery. You got something? Give her the mic. Give her the mic. Give her the mic. Yeah, give her the mic. Hey, Deshaun, could y'all, or Tahar, could you give me something to, like a napkin or something?
Yeah. Can you?
No, turn it on.
Oh.
Yeah, speak to the mic.
All right.
Yeah.
I have that experience with
Okay.
little. I was, and he went to Kelso. You know what Kelso is? Elementary.
Nah, I don't. Where is it?
In Inglewood.
Oh, Inglewood. Okay.
By myself. Month go by. What's going on with my son's grades and all this other.
Right.
I go in. They trying to tell me that they're gonna arrest me because he hasn't been in school for 30 days.
You see that?
I was like, excuse me, I'm a single mother. I work. What do you mean? If he was gone 2 days, you should have called me. So they told me, oh well, we they didn't send no letters, they didn't get in touch with me, they didn't do nothing, but they gonna turn around and tell me. So when I went off, then that's when my he had to go to this called City of Angel School. He go to school once a week.
Okay.
But they tried to blame me for him not going to school to find out that he was running from. They were trying to get him to join the game.
He's running from the game.
And he had to take the bus.
So he probably was getting banged on and all that on the way. Now look, let's go back to this, man. She's a living testament to what the article just said, right? I'm gonna go back up here. It says the biased application of harsh disciplinary measures and overuse of referral to law enforcement contribute to the problem of setting up vulnerable students, single parent, setting them up for failure and ignoring the underlying causes. We're gonna exclude her being a single mom, trying to take care of her family. We don't give a damn about all that. Why your son ain't in our school? Miss whatever. We're gonna lock your ass up too. When you had to fight him a little bit, right? You had to have a little. If you fight Esau back, he'll if you let him walk over, he will. That's what I'll be telling, but hey man, fight for your laws, bro. Fight for the Sabbath. Don't sit there and be up. Send your letters in. Send them to whoever you need to send them to. Fight. Don't punk out. Right? Esau, if you fight back, he'll comply. You see what I'm saying? But the water for that, because she's a living testament of what I was talking about, what the article was talking about. She actually experienced that in real time. Our sister, Odessa, right? With her son. Now watch this. It says, so I'm gonna read that again. It says the increased placement of SROs, which are the little officers on campus, have led to increases in the number of student arrests, as well as the number of referrals to law enforcement and juvenile courts. So I thought putting these officers were on campus or in the schools was supposed to create a safe environment. It turns out it's sending our kids more and more abundantly to prison for little things like tardy or missing a couple days of school or whatever. Nothing violent, no violent acts, little stuff that can be corrected with just some discipline from a man. But nah, we want to send y'all to prison. Have y'all ever thought about just the infrastructure and how the schools are set up? It's very strikingly similar to prison. The long hallways, the bell system, count time, yard time, right? The buses,
Fence gates.
the fence gate, the yard, the cafeteria, lunchtime, detention, the knives. It's strikingly. Hey, you got to get prepared because this is gonna be your everlasting estate. We're getting you used to it right now because we're gonna send your little black and brown ass to prison anyways. So get used to this. Get used to the security and the fixed authority over you. Get used to these long hallways. Get used to standing in line, walking in single file lines. Get used to all of this because this is going to be your everlasting estate anyways. That's the goal. Go ahead, King. Go ahead, Malak.
Hey, and I believe you said this previously, but Jake, when he go to prison, he even understand the similarities because he called it school. He said, I'm in school.
Yeah, they call it. Unfortunately, when brothers go to prison, they call it college now. They say, yeah, get your boots tied up, man. You're in college now.
Yeah, I done got my GED.
Yeah. My GED in youth authority, but now I'm about to get my graduate, right, in the prison. What do they say? Go ahead, King. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to mention some. A young brother passed away in Lake Elsinore.
Lake Elsinore.
Joshua Robinson. I'm a nurse, so I know when a patient is having like, asthmatic problems, heat, exhaustion. So they had him running the track because he didn't put on his PE clothes right. So they had him run the track in the hot rivers, out in Riverside, hot weather, and he passed out and then passed away. So, I mean, that's exactly what they do in jail. That's exactly what they do in the prisons. They punish you for making a mistake.
Little things.
Little things.
He didn't wear the right PE clothes.
Right. And had him run the track until he passed out and died.
Why do we keep sending our kids there, man?
Yeah. My heart goes out to the family. Condolences.
Yeah, condolences to the family.
Joshua Robinson.
Joshua Robinson. That's sad. His mom was a nurse. She told him not to that today, yeah. So he was listening to his mom, essentially. His mom said, you're not going to go out for PE today because it's too hot. Nevertheless, the school said, we're going to criminalize you for that. And then he died. But we still send our kids there. Do y'all not see the importance of building our own institutions? Do y'all not see the importance of the camp and what we're trying to do here about? A safe haven for our kids to be back there. You think we're going to put them in situations like that? Our beloved babies back there that, smart as hell. You got Pariah and all them. They're very brilliant. You ever hear them talk? They're very smart, advanced. So Raya doing something right. I trust her more than Karen and Becky and Susanna and whoever the hell, you know what I mean? They ain't going to care about our little boys and our little girls. Right? We could do it ourselves. That's the point I'm making. We got the system right here. All we need to do is invest in a little curriculum, whatever little curriculum we need our kids to learn. We know what they need to know. Basic math, reading, how to sound out words. We're going to teach them the history we want them to know, of course, the histories of our forefathers. And then they're going to be prepared. They're going to be prepared to thrive in the community, you know what I mean, or thriving on society. Or we can do the latter and send our kids to the school, which we already see Esau is preparing them to go to jail forever. Let me show you my middle school. Watch this. Let me go to Google real quick. Google Maps. This is no cap. The middle school that I went to. Avalon. Slauson. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Academy. LA Academy.
Yeah. Look at this damn school, man. Look at this wall. Look at this. This is a middle school. Look at this wall of my middle school. You see that high ass gate in these walls? This is and sadly enough, almost every little boy that I went to school with went to jail or did some time in prison. I was one of the ones, fortunately, Most High had his hand on me. I made it out. Never have to spend a day in there. But look at this. Look at this high wall. They letting us know. They're not even trying to hide it no more. Like, we want to lock y'all up. You know, primarily who goes to this school? Israelites, Black and Latinos. And they got the little officer center in the front. Since I was graduate, I ain't been there. But nevertheless, every time I drive by this, I'll be like, look at this wall, bro. This wall is strikingly similar to a prison. It's letting you know what they're trying to do to our kids, man. Letting you know what they're trying to do to our kids. Right? Now watch this. It said risk factors for juveniles' involvement in the justice system. Individualism, right? It says antisocial behavior, cognitive disability, hyperactivity, social problem, or physical problems, and substance misuse, right? Now I want to highlight this, right? Individuality, right? Our scriptures is totally against that. What does our scriptures tell us? Gather yourselves, what? Let's get that. Zephaniah. We're short, like they're trying to figure out, okay, all these social forces that's happening in this prison school pipeline. and they're trying to figure out like a resolution or a solution to it. The scriptures is the solution. Most High already gave us the wisdom on how to handle this, right? If individualism is one of the issues, let's see what our Bible says about that. Give me on Zephaniah 2:1.
This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
So the scriptures command us to gather together, right? Let's drop that. Let's get the one in Hebrews. Hebrews 10. Watch this. Hebrews 10 and 25.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 10 and verse 25. Not forsaking the assembly of ourselves.
What did God tell us?
Not forsaking.
Don't forsake the assembling of yourselves together. What?
Together as the manner of some is.
As most people do. I don't know why they practice that, but the Bible's against that. Read on.
But exhorting one another.
Correcting one another. Sharpening one another, like we did earlier today in the soldier class, brothers. Read on.
And so much the more as ye see the day approaching.
And boy, ain't the day approaching. Are we not living in the last days right now? I think I was watching Iroquois video earlier today. Russia is preparing to launch one of their nukes. They haven't deployed the actual bomb yet, but they setting it up. It take a little bit of time to set it up. Who you think they're gonna point it at? Russia and America is like right next. Let me show y'all something, man. Let me show you how close America is to Russia. Look how close Russia is to America. Watch this. Look how close they is.
Right there.
This is Russia on this side. This is Alaska. It don't take much for them to shoot a nuclear bomb and hit and tear up Alaska and Canada. They literally like probably a couple miles away. You can see the two countries. Because at one point, Russia was Alaska, right? Until I think America bought it, right? For some millions or something like that. Look how close it is. Hey, boy, we living in them end times, man. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's for sure. You know, I ain't going to be one of them niggas to say, oh, Yahushua coming back in 2024, 2025. I ain't going to say nothing stupid like that. But I definitely believe he's going to come back in our kids' generation. They will not live to see 90. I'm willing to go on a limb and say that. Our kids won't be 90. Yahushua will return before then. It's too much wickedness. There's no way we can sustain life with the stuff Esau is doing right now. Binary talk, forcing our kids to accept homosexuality, transgenderism, making it a law, and you getting ostracized. Come on, man. It ain't too much more wickedness he can do. He's got so good at his surgery, you don't even know who's a woman or a man now. Like, do you even know? You used to check the Adam apples, right? That's out now. You don't know what the hell you're looking at. It's only safe in its truth. Might have to look at that birth certificate, man. Like, what were you born as? Right? But individualism, right? But I want to highlight another thing. System misuse, right? That's sorcery, right? Our Bible is 100% against sorcery. What is sorcery? When you extracting elements out of a plant, you conjuring it together, right? You conjuring it together, you going into a lab, and you making people get high. LSD, right? This is sorcery. Give me that. What God say he gonna do to sorcerers? Give me Revelations 21 and 8. Revelation 21 and 8.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 21 and verse 8. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers.
And what?
And sorcerers.
What's going to happen?
And idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire.
And what?
And brimstone, which is the second
So
death.
that's going to be their judgment, sorcerers, right? So our Bible handles that. He says substance misuse. We're not even on that type of time. Our Bible is against us using those different things. Mind altering substances, we're not supposed to indulge in that type of stuff, right? Family. This is one of our biggest things in the Israelite community. Restoring the family that's broken. It says these are some of the social factors and influences from the school to prison pipeline. Family. Great example was the sister and her situation right now, right? Sister Odessa and her situation. It says you have abusive or neglected parents. That's real. That's a real thing. There was one family that I lived in the projects with. I can't remember how many times. Like I seen them before, but like very vague. Like the kids is always home alone. Like I seen the parents. Don't get me wrong. I seen them sparingly, but the kids was. I'm like, where the hell where they parents at? Shaquan, am I lying? Shaquan grew up in the same type of predicament. You had that one kid that just they gotta figure it out themselves. They gotta get some bread and peanut butter jelly sandwich because they don't got mommy and daddy there.
Or they always at their boy house.
Or they always at the homie house because the parents never there. And the beautiful thing about the projects, the family will accept you when they know you're going through something like that. They'll be like, all right, you can come over here. You know what I'm saying? Which was beautiful. But our Bible teach against this. Our Bible don't believe you can be abusive. You can whoop your kids, but we got up to what? How many lashes? 40 what? 40 lashes. We can't go past that. Can we neglect our kids? Proverbs 22:6. See what our Bible says. Let's see what our Bible says that we have to do with our kids. Proverbs 22:6.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 22 and verse 6. Train up a child.
What do we got to do?
Train up a child.
We got to train them. Read on.
In the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart
leave
from
it, right? He or she not gonna leave it, right? We got to train our kids. It's not neglect our kids, right? We's 100% against broken homes. This is broken homes right here, right? Our scriptures against broken families. Even though the curse says we're gonna go through this, what's the remedy? What's the remedy to the curses? Say it again. Keeping God's laws. That's how we reverse the curses. We break the curses by how? Keeping the wisdom and the instructions of the Heavenly Father. How do we get in the curses? Breaking God's manual. Because look, let's haul in on that, right? Broken families. What does the scriptures teach us on how to build our families? Give me Exodus 22. 22. 22 and 16.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 16. And if a man entice a maid,
so if you spit game to a woman, read on.
That is not betrothed.
And she don't belong to nobody. She wasn't promised. Read on.
And lie with her.
And then you have sex with her.
He shall surely endow her to be his wife.
Now we get rid of fornication in our communities. You got to make that woman that you had sex with and lied with your wife. You got to make that woman your wife now, right? Read on.
Verse 17. If her father utterly refused to give her unto him,
and if her father refused for that to be a marriage, read on.
He shall surely pay money.
The dude who went around the father, because the scriptures say you got to go to the father first. The scriptures say he has to what?
He shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins.
He got to pay punitive damages to that family, their household, to that father of that household. True. You're bringing folly into Israel household, I mean, in our communities now. So now you got to pay for that. If we practice that one law, how much will we fix in our communities?
A lot.
The Bible can fix it. Because look, fornication is done now. Now you got to be held accountable for having sex. More than likely, child support is done now. Because y'all got to stay together. Y'all lay together, y'all got to what? Y'all got to stay together now. You want to be fast and go around your daddy? All right, for sure. You want to be smooth and go around the father? Okay, for sure. Now the law is going to make y'all stay down. What we do now? We quitters. We quitters. What's the average relationship nowadays? Well, about 2 weeks.
They got a thing called ghosting now. I don't gotta let you know or nothing. Like I'm just out of there.
That's always been the thing, though.
They put a term on that.
That's always been the thing, though. I'm sure some of my older brothers, Kurt, there's always been like that. Girls are ghost dudes, right? When they ain't rocking with them. That's always been the thing. A girl will ghost a dude and not talk to him no more. And the dude will do the same thing to a woman, right? Yeah, that's always been the thing. We just created a term for it now. It's called ghosting. Where I forgot who kind of made it popular. Where it's like usually you at least have the professionalism to break up with somebody and call them on the phone. Now it's like I ain't with you no more. Shit, you know what it is. I wasn't picking up your phone calls. You know what it is. Matter of fact, you on the block list. You can't even get to my phone. That's what we do now. You know what I'm saying? But that's wicked as hell. God said not to do that. Read it again. How long you got to be together? Read it again. 16.
Salakia. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. He
gotta marry her. And then in Deuteronomy, we don't got to get there. It says you can't put her away for all the days of your life. You can't put her away. That's accountability. Because now, right? Let's say I'm feeling the chick, but I don't want to go to her dad. I want to sweet talk around her dad. I want to holler at her, get her to, come out of her dress. I take her down, whatever. And then I say, oh no, she wasn't a virgin when I found her. Our law says you're gonna get beat up by the elders in front of everybody. So you're gonna get chastised from the whole nation, and you can't put this woman away for the rest of your life. That's called accountability. So family is handled with the scriptures. The Bible fix it. Because what do we do now? We just have sex for about 2 or 3 weeks, a month. We feeling each other. Soon as some issues come, the honeymoon stage is over. What happens? Divorce. We quitters. God said, hey, marriage is hard. He told you in 1 Corinthians. Hey, look, marriage ain't no easy thing. Nah, am I lying? Nah, you've been married for a long time, right? Is it difficult? You got beautiful kids and all that, but I'm sure it's some battles, right? It's a battles. It's a difficult thing. But what we do, what does America teach us? Quit. You see all these damn divorce parties? I've never in my life seen so many divorce parties. Like y'all women are wicked. Do you know God hate divorce? These women are celebrating something that God hates. God said, what I put together, let no man or woman put asunder. And he hates putting away. But you got these stupid women out here having parties. Oh, I'm divorced. What does that mean? Translation. I'm free to what? To spread my legs to whoever I want. Probably more than likely a younger man.
And it's so crazy, that they having a divorce party at a strip club. like no venue, nothing. Like, let me gather my girls together. We're gonna drink wine, cry, and all that.
It's lucky. And you know what's even the crazier part? They have a divorce party with a male stripper who's most likely a damn homosexual.
Yeah, calm. Real. Calm.
Yeah, that's sad, man. They're gonna have a divorce party with a homosexual that he probably been spreading his penis to any and everybody, and you. Anyways, back to the point. The Bible teach against that. The Bible says all these issues, all these social factors that we have in our communities with the school, the prison pipeline, the Bible fixed that. Low social economic status. Don't we have a treasury? And we give out loans to brothers that need it? Doesn't our Bible say you got to take care of the fatherless? It's actually a law. You got to take care of the fatherless. And you can't try to pop his mom, right? Try to pop his mom and not take care of the kid. Give me that one in Ciroc real quick. Let's bring that out. I'm just showing you how the Bible fix a lot of some stuff that goes on in our communities, right? A lot of times, brothers see a single mom and be like, oh, she's vulnerable. She wants a man, which is true, right? But this is what our Bible is against. Sirach 4:10. Read that.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 4 and verse 10. Be as a father unto the fatherless, and instead of a husband unto their
Instead
mother.
of a what?
Instead of a husband.
Instead of it trying to pop his mom, just raise up the kid. Watch out for him. It don't gotta have to be no perks and benefits for you initially, right? It's gonna ultimately help the kid in the end, and it's gonna help the community in the end because you watched out for that kid and you didn't have no dog in the fight. But what we do? No, I gotta pop his mom and ignore the kid, neglect the kid. I just want his mom because she's still fine, even though she had a baby, she's still fine. This is how we think, but our Bible is against that. I'm gonna let you go, King. I'm gonna let you go, Deshaun. I want to read it one more time. Read that one more time.
Verse 10. Be as a father unto the fatherless, and instead of an husband unto their mother. So shalt thou be as the son of the Most High, and he shall love thee more than thy mother doeth.
See that? Look out for the fatherless in your communities. Watch out for them. Don't do it because you want to have his mom. Do it because it's the right thing to do. The scriptures are saying that. You wanted to add a point, King?
No, I was just saying, like, sometimes brothers would be like, get with a woman who has a kid, and they'll be like, well, I'm not inclined to take care of that kid. It's not my kid. But like you said, the scriptures say otherwise you take care of the fathers, especially if you with this child's mother.
If you decide to go with the mother, you got to take everything that comes with her. Period. Ain't no parameters. Ain't no, oh, that's not my kid. No, that's why we have counsel. That is gonna be your kid. You're gonna take onus and responsibility as the father since you're gonna be the husband in that position. If you don't want to do that, then don't touch the mom. That's why you gotta make sure you get the right one. Have a counsel. Got a court. Know who you marrying. It take time. You got a point? Go ahead.
Yeah, I got it. I was gonna say, I think a person should want to do that in their heart, and with the Most High's laws, you know, it helps us become righteous, helps us do the right things. You know, there's 613 laws. When I came into this truth, it's like, wow, there's a lot that I need to know.
Right.
You know, like I said, a man should want to do that. He should want to take care of that kid off the rip. Like, okay, this kid don't have a father. He don't have no guidance. Whatever happened to his, biological father, I want to step in and take care of the kid and help him grow to be a righteous man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then,
That's that's actually in the laws of God. You know what I mean? We always talk about the law. That's in the laws of God. If you read Deuteronomy, I think 10, we're not gonna go there. It tells you that, hey, look, you gotta look out for them. You know what I'm saying? You gotta look out for the disenfranchised, the frail, the forgotten about of our nation. You can't leave them susceptible to just any and everything. The widows of our nation. Gotta look out for them, right? It says peers, right? Bullying. It is what Jew Boy went through. Bullying, right? Ostracism from peers, gang membership, weak social ties. Do they gotta worry about any of that in here? You see lots of kids, they love everybody. Everybody's a part of the group. And it ain't no cliques, ain't no gangs. You ain't gotta worry about no gangs here. Y'all see, this is what Roger was talking about 2 or 3 years ago. I didn't really see his vision until like I had that aha moment. I'm like, when we got to first school, I said, okay, I see what you're talking about now. I see how important what we're doing. Of course, we teach the commandments, but even bigger than that, our kids, the generations to come. That's what it's about. We low-key lived our life already. What about them? What about them? Gang membership. Our Bible's against that. Give me that Exodus. Let me show you something. Watch this. I'm telling you, the Bible could fix it. Let's see what God says about gangs. Exodus 23:1.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 23 and verse 1. Thou shalt not raise a false report. Put not thy hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness.
Read on.
Verse 2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil.
Thou shalt not what?
Follow a multitude to do evil.
What is a gang?
A multitude.
A multitude of dudes is going to do something stupid. Gang bang. Either I'm going to shoot at somebody that look like me, or I'm going to sell dope to somebody that look like me. Or I'm going to prostitute the daughters that look like me. I'm going to prostitute my little daughters and nieces and nephews and all that. I'm going to prostitute them. Put them on the stroll, the strip. Or I'm going to do digital prostitution and put them on OnlyFans and Instagram and try to make $1 out of them. This is what the gangs are doing. God said, read it again from the top.
Verse 2. Thou shalt not
You shall not, read on,
follow a multitude.
Follow a gang of people
to do evil.
To do evil. What does the gang teach? Everything against the Bible. Tattoos, against the scriptures. Get high, against the scriptures. Sell dope, against the scriptures. Gang bang, hate your brother, against the scriptures. Prostitute your women, against the scriptures. Fornicate, against the scriptures. Kill, against the scriptures. Idolatry. That red and blue rag is a damn idol. Because that red and blue rag tells you, I got to go do this to these dudes over here. That's a damn idol. What? Who says what? Who says huh? That was y'all beef. That had nothing to do with me. That was in the 60s. You mean to tell me I got to carry that? Why?
Salakia Ox swearing from left to right. That's so the dead. That's so.
Oh yeah, that's on this. That's on the dead homies. That's on it. That's on God. Y'all don't believe in God. Trust me. Maybe you do, but not the God of the Bible. The God of the Bible would totally disapprove everything you do. So you know the gangs ain't gonna listen to nobody. They're gonna end up killing each other, whatever. Something's got to purge out the rebels, right? Rebels gonna get purged out. At this point, if you still joining gangs, something got to be socially, mentally wrong with you. We got enough sample size to see it ain't about nothing. I understand to a certain degree you want to be a part of a group. I get it. You want to be accepted in your community. You want to be around the guys, but seeing what happens to the guys and how the guys don't live past 25 should let you know there's something wrong with this system right here. And when your older homies that got through it, they say, hey, don't do this, and you still want to do it, something got to be wrong with you, right? So look, peers, the Bible covers that. School and community. I think we already covered that, right? Give me that Psalms 78. And I think I want 5. School. Let's see what the Bible says about that. Get a couple precepts about school and just learning. Give me that Psalms 78, verse 5.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 78, and verse 5. For he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers that they should make them known to their children.
Read on.
That the generation to come might know them, even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children.
Read on.
That they might set their hope in the Most High and not forget the works of the Most High, but keep his commandments.
Read on.
And might not be as their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation that set not their heart aright, and whose spirit was not steadfast with the Most High.
See that? Our Bible says we got to teach this to our kids, and then our kids got to teach it to their kids. And it's this generational cycle of everybody knowing who God is, the authenticity of God, right? Let's look at Christ. Let's get Luke 4:16. Watch this.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 4, and verse 16. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. And as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up for to read.
To what?
And stood up.
This is Jesus Christ. What is he doing on the Sabbath day? He's reading. He's getting sharp. He's learning. This was a custom of Christ. Give me Mark. Mark 6:2. Watch this.
The book of Mark, chapter 6, and verse 2. And when the Sabbath day was come, he began to teach in the synagogue.
He began to what?
Teach in the
No,
synagogue.
Sunday school.
Teach in the
The
synagogue.
Sabbath day Christ taught. Read on.
And many hearing him were astonished.
So we were teaching, we were learning. School is a big thing in the scriptures. Learning environment's a big thing in the scriptures. We see what our king was doing. Who the world calls Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai in Hebrew. See what he was doing? He was teaching the people, right? Let's see what happened after Christ died. 1 Peter 4. I think I'm on verse 11. 1 Timothy 4 and 11. My bad. 4, 11 or 12, one of those. Till I come giving sentence to reading. I want that one.
Yeah,
13.
This is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 13. Till I come, give attendance to reading.
To our return, give what?
Attendance to reading.
It's telling us to read, to stay sharp. What is that? Revelation 1 and 3? Blessed is who, what?
Yeah, read.
So school and community is addressed in the scriptures. Let's get one more. Hebrews 5. 12.
The book of Hebrews chapter 5 and verse 12. For when the time ye ought to be when the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teacheth you again.
So we got to learn. Read on.
Which be the first principles of the oracles of the Most High.
The oracles of the scriptures. The first principle is to learn the scriptures. Read on.
And are become as such have need of milk and not of strong meat.
Read on.
For everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. But strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age.
The ones that are advanced, like our elders, you know.
Even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil.
You see what I'm saying? It says for the one that think he's learned, he has to learn again. He has to be taught again. So the scriptures talk about school and learning and being in a community in a setting like this. We got women's class next week. We're going to start up the children's class next month. We're instituting everything that God tells us to do for our kids. Why do we need them to go to our oppressor schools? Please explain. Knowing what they're trying to do, not what they're doing, not trying, what they're doing. Like I said, sadly enough, I'm trying to think. Every single dude down there, 90% of the dudes in my generation, I'm just going to speak on my generation, that I grew up with, all did a prison bid at some point. And I'm not embellishing. That's a fact. Sad. I'm sad to say that. I'm not even trying to. It's sad to say that 90% of the dudes I grew up with all did some time in prison. Sad. But it's letting you know we got to stop sending our kids to the schools of our enemies. And we start building our own schools. We can do it. Look at IUIC. That's the goal. We ain't trying to be like them exactly, but our own little version of them. You know what I mean? It can be done. It can be done. We started in Ratazan House. Look at where you're at now. We're starting this 3-bedroom apartment. Look where we're at now. Breaking stuff in Raya House. Using up all the toilet tissue and soap. Right? Look who we at now. Look how the Most High gave us the increase. All praise be to the Most High. Because we nothing. All praise be to the Most High. But I'm telling y'all, not I'm telling y'all, the Bible is telling y'all we can fix this with the scriptures. These issues that we have in our communities, the school, the prison pipeline, can very well be easily corrected if we get back to the Bible. And I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about doing thus says the Lord. What did it say? We got to do as the scriptures say. We got to be doers. That's the one I want. I don't want to misquote it. Not just hearers only, right? Do they read the church? In the church, do they read the scriptures? I don't read the scriptures. Did you have something you want to add? Go ahead, King. Go ahead.
No, I was just like tying it all in. Dealing with my son in these schools, especially when he went to schools like in the valley where it's predominantly were more white children than the inner cities. It is a discrepancy in how they punish the kids, but even looking a little bit further, they don't correct the child because they don't use the Bible. They just punish our children and they don't have patience for our children. And that's why we need to teach our own children, because we're going to have patience with them and we're going to actually correct them with the ultimate correction. You know, they go to these schools all their life and they're going to get punished. And like you said, it's just going to lead them to getting used to prison. You know what I mean? It's no correction in it. That's what I've seen with my kids. They have never been corrected of any of their the things that led them to getting in trouble, but they're swift to being judged though and punished.
And that was the whole purpose of this article right here. There's no correction being applied, right? It's always a stiff, hardcore punishment, but where is the correction? But think about it. If I'm Esau, why would I want to correct your kids? Why the hell would I want to correct your kids? I don't want to correct your kids. I want to keep them. I'm making a killing in private prisons, which I'm gonna cap it off with that. I'm making a killing in private prisons. Why would I want to correct your children? You correct your children. But how you gonna correct your children when the families are broken due to the curses? Mommy doing the best she could, but she working 12, 13-hour shifts. Kid is absent. Grandma getting a little too old to watch the kids. What happens? Kid raising himself. Go ahead, King.
So let's not get confused. Like, the prison system punishes, but we need discipline. There's a difference. Like, for instance, if you go to the military, they discipline you. When you're punished, you come out with resentment, hatred. You know, you're not really corrected, and you dislike the ones who punished you. When you're military, you get disciplined against your will at first, but then after a while, you come out and you're glad that you went through it. And that's a difference between punishment and discipline. Is that a lot of times you get disciplined and you come out, you know, you didn't like going through it, but you're glad you did go through it, and you come out grateful. You understand what I mean?
Con, that was powerful.
3 and 10, I think that's one.
Something just hit me about the law. That just imagine people who have a lot of belief in God. I think there was like 41,000 of Christian denominations, right?
41,000?
41,000. So there's a lot of people that believe there's a God. But just imagine if there was just like 41,000 atheist denominations, like they don't believe in God. But if they kept the laws, they'd be better off than the people that do believe in God.
Facts.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're right.
Yes.
You're right. Absolutely. Bring that precept out, King, and we're going to finish up this article and wrap it up.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 11. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. For whom the Lord loveth, he corrected.
To my brother Tahar's point, which is a beautiful point. The Lord is correcting us through discipline, through structure, through instructions, through the laws. And then punishment, right? But not to destroy us, to get us corrected. Prison, on the other hand, is designed to punish you and never correct you, to leave you mad with a stain. You know what I mean? You want to get back at the individuals because your experience was really bad in there. You know, hopefully it's a determinant for you not to go back, but sadly enough, a lot of us go back because socially, once you put that stain on your record, it's hard for you to come out of it. It's hard for you to come out of it. And I say some do, but it's very hard for you to come out of it. Right? So let's go ahead and end this article real quick. It says, how many students do law enforcement's referrals and arrest impact, right? So so they did a sample size of like, let's just round this up to 300,000. It says 290,600. Let's just round it up to 300,000 for simple numbers, right? It says only 15% of students were Black or African American. So with the sample size of this 300,000 people, 15% of them were Black. But these students represent 31% of law enforcement referrals and arrests. So us not even being nowhere near half of the sample size, we make up almost a third of the punishments. Let's go to our white counterparts. They make up 49%, so they're half. It's over 150,000 students were white, but these students represented only 36% of the law enforcement referrals and arrests. And it probably was for less strenuous things. I don't think they went that deep, but they probably was selling dope or something like that, or doing white stuff. Things that white people do. But they're 50% of the population essentially. I mean, on this from the sample size, but they only make up 36% of the law enforcement punishments. Now, who's the other 26%? The 26% of students were Hispanics or Latinx, and these students represent 24% of the law enforcement referrals or arrests. So we got over what's 20 and 30, 25 and 30. So that's like 50, almost 55%, 55% of the Black and Hispanics are making up majority of the punishments in these prison to school pipelines, while our white counterparts make up over 50% of the whole entire school system, right? And they're only getting punished at a 3%. That's a disproportionality. How are you doubling us and not getting punished and criminalized nowhere near us? That means it has to be socially motivated. That means there has to be some type of intentional cause that Esau is doing on the back end, which we know through his policies, we can see that, right? And then it leads to that next point. It says why students of color are disproportionately affected. Students from marginalized communities are more likely to end up in school to prison pipeline because of systemic racism. These are white people saying this, not me. Systemic racism is not a thing. Well, the white people say otherwise. Also known as structural or institutional racism. Systematic racism refers to systematic in policies that create and or maintain racial inequalities. Disciplinary actions that result in court referrals, suspensions, or expulsions, all of which increase the likelihood of dropping out and entering into juvenile justice system, are disproportionately applied to students of color. Why? Because they want to lock you up. Why? Because it makes a killing when they do that. We'll end it right here. Prison to industrial complex. Right? PIC is a term coined after the military industrial complex of 1950, used by scholars and activists to describe the many relationships between institutions of imprisonment, such as prison, jails, detention facilities, and psychiatric hospitals, etc. Right? The term is most often used in context of the contemporary United States, where the expansion of the U.S. inmate population has resulted in economic profit and political influence for private prisons and other companies that supply goods and services to the government prisons. So why is this happening so much in our communities? Because it makes them rich. This is why record labels, owners can sign somebody like a Keith Chief, an NBA young boy, promote his music. If it sounds okay, promote his music, and spread it all across the masses, even though the music is all about kill, drum, drill, shoot a nigga, right? I'll promote it, play it on the radio, spend dollars to promote it because I'm gonna make money on the front end when your black ass die. When you die, because you gonna die making this kind of music, or your homies gonna die that's around you because you're gonna be in war. There's all the energy you putting out. So I'm gonna make a killing off of that when you die, right? But then I'm gonna make more money on the back end when I lock your little butt up. When I lock you up, you have something you want to add? When I lock you up into these prisons, I'm gonna make money on both ends. I'm gonna make money from the music when you die, because you go viral when you die. Then I'm gonna make more money on the back end when I lock you up. So I win all across the board. Go ahead.
I appreciate the lesson. I've been listening, and you know how back in the day, the game bangers, it was all about territory and everything, and then all of a sudden it became about money. That's kind of the school system right now. Back in the day, yes, suspensions and expulsions was a very big thing, and it was quick. They were quick to do that, but because of articles like the one you're bringing out today, the school system is transitioning. So now, and this may be a good part B to, now the modern is now, they don't expel students. That it takes a lot to kick them out now. So now what they're doing is they're passing them on. You may not understand the work, you may not be, you need help with, but you're getting A's and B's because the money now, it's all about the money. They don't expel them now. They put them in mental, you need to see the psychologist because maybe you have this mental disability. Now mental disabilities is taking active part in how they're treating our children in the schools, making them think that you have emotional problems. Now you need to see the psychologist. So because they get money when they're in the seats, so now they don't want to put them out of the seats. Now they want money that way.
Circulating.
Right.
It's cool. Beautiful point. That's a beautiful point. And if I put them in these psychiatric hospitals, or if I say they have some behavioral issues, I make money from the pharmaceutical companies now. Now I can give them Ritalin, I can get them all these different drugs and put them on and pass them on. And now they can't survive in society anyways. So what they're gonna do? Naturally, they're gonna either get on some type of public assistance, or they're gonna go to jail. So Esau, like, I win anyways. And then on the back end, I'm still putting this music out here, just telling you to rape, kill, murder, kill, murder, sell drugs, get high. Right? For the purpose of what? Influencing the little babies, because they're very influential at that age, to go out and go on a drill. What are little boys talking about? They're trying to go drill something.
Salakia, and it's crazy because certain videos that they post on Instagram and social media, they got the teacher singing a song with them, like just influencing it heavy. Like classrooms are going at it. Who could do the best song? Who could do the best dance? This
catchy line, right? Bobby Smurder. I just caught a body about a week ago. That's a catchy song, right? It went viral on Instagram and all that stuff, right? You're talking about something that he really did. These dudes is rapping about stuff that they really did in the street. Fritz just caught a body like a week ago. His homie went to jail for that. And their whole neighborhood got indicted for that song. It made the feds look into what they were talking about and found out, oh, no, they really is catching bodies. They not lying. This is not a song. This is a real thing. Go ahead, King. Go ahead.
Speaking on the influence, I saw a video the other day. She said, being a second grade teacher, how do I get the kids' attention? She just would sing out ski, and all the kids would get.
Yeah. So
and she'd have everybody's attention, which is wild, but that's the influence that the beast has.
See, we got to protect our kids, man, as much as we can. Now, what do our kids listen to in here? Humble for Yah, Darak Ibar, you know what I mean? Roe the chef. They listening to people in here that's going to be preaching what? The Bible. Righteousness. Now, let's go on a drill and spin the block and shoot up everybody we see. NBA young boy. This nigga's a demon, like from hell. Like all he talks about is killing. And you wonder, is nothing but death around him because that's all he talks about. But he's the #1 selling artist of the new generation, who Esau is going to promote among the masses. Because that kind of energy is going to circulate in our communities, and we're going to practice that. And it's going to become normal, and we get desensitized from things we shouldn't even be practicing and upholding. But why is it so important for Esau to keep it going? The prison industrial complex. It's because it said it's going to make so much money. To our sister Nab's point, they're going to make a lot of money. They're going to make a killing. Look, it says the term is most often used in context of contemporary United States, where expansion of U.S. inmate population has resulted in economic profit and political influence for private prisons and other companies that supply goods to the prisons and services to the government prisons agencies. According to this concept, incarceration not only upholds the justice system, but also subsidize construction companies. So if I'm a construction company and they're building all these prisons, hey, count me in, I'm ready. Let me build the highest secure facility ever. I'll underbid on the contract because I want the contract. Now it's become a money thing. Excuse me. It says companies that operate prison foods, services, and medical facilities, to her point. The medical industry is, imagine if I can put your kid at 8 years old on this drug until he dies. Ritalin. I'm going to make a killing off that one kid. Usually in business, you'd be lucky if you get a customer to come back. But I'm putting this kid on this medicine from the time he about 6 or 7, the first time he show any type of behavioral issues, until he died. This is why they're $1 billion industry. This is why it's a $1 billion industry. Just imagine how many millions of kids they're doing this to. It says construction companies that operate prison food services and medical facilities, surveillance and correction technology vendors, corporations that contract cheap prison labor. Let's not forget about that. We got the prisoners in there making all type of stuff for companies that contract the prison for their inmates to make products for them. So I don't need to go to China to outsource and exploit them. I can exploit the prisoners.
Like license plates and
refrigerators and all these different things. And you know how much they pay them? A penny an hour. 1 penny an hour. That sounds like slavery to me.
That is.
Correctional officer unions, private probation companies. Y'all get the point. We can go on and on and on forever. These institutions are making a killing. Look what it says. I'm going to read this and we'll end it right here. It says, many commentators use the term prison industrial complex to refer strictly to private prisons in the United States, an industry that generates approximately $4 billion in profits a year. Profits. That's not even the money that they generate. That's the money after expenses. That's after the expenses. That's not, I don't know if that's not even what they're generating. This is what they're taking home. You know how you got your check and then the government takes taxes and you got to deduct your 401k and all that, whatever you take home. This is what they're taking home, the prisons. Not your gross, your net. After the jails, the salary, the food, the building, the lights, they're taking home this. So you see why we got this school to prison pipeline? Because it's making a killing on the back end. Why would Esau want to stop this? Why would he? When he's designed to destroy and kill you anyways. Right? And it kills me when you got people like Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, investing into these institutions, knowing that they're directing this energy towards your people. That's why when I came out of college, I knew something was in my spirit, and now it makes sense. I couldn't even do, like, I was supposed to get hired to do correctional facility. I couldn't do it. Now I know why. What the hell I look like in further the impression and enslavement of my people? Why would I do that? For a check? So I'm gonna sell my soul for a little bag, knowing what it does to my people, because we got a law book on how to correct our people. We got a system on how to correct our people. You see that? And I'm a firm believer in this, 100%. I believe in this from Revelations to all the way to Genesis. I believe in this wholeheartedly. Go ahead, Doc.
Hey, those three basketball players, don't they all have shaved heads?
All those three dudes, yeah, they all lawbreakers. They don't care about God's commandments. And Shaq know about the truth too. You know about the truth, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and leave it there, family. Hopefully I was edified. I pray y'all got some understanding today. Don't send your kids to public school, man. We trying to build our own schools. Let's work together. Let's figure out a way to do this together. All praises. Shalom to the family online. Blessings to you all. The water. All praises. Hopefully I was edified. Have a good one. All right, shalom.